All right. I'm live on YouTube at the time. So get that centered. And then move this so you all can see me right here. Man, it's like the Wizard of Oz up in here. So, okay, here we go. The boy. DJ, come here. You just sent me a request. Let's see. You sent a request in here in this Facebook Live, Saltia. Invite. Copy clipboard. Use this laptop real quick. Find this live that I'm on in here right now and post it in this Facebook wall. Okay. Saltia, I want to ask her for her email. First go to my messages.
Where's that?
Is
this?
No, go over here. Press the Facebook icon. See. Yeah, I still don't see you in there yet. Go to Messenger. Go to her. Yeah. Look up in there for her email address. Look up in this conversation. Go. Slow. Okay. Saltia, did you ever inbox me your email address? If so, go ahead and do that right now so I can invite you into this. And my son is going to post where we're at where we're getting ready to transfer to. I clicked on the green icon and request sent appeared. Okay. I'm not seeing it. Right? That's Prissy Mac. You need to be at Priscilla Mac. Yes. Can you send me your email? Okay. Go to share. Copy. Don't go straight to Facebook. Now go back to Facebook. Facebook icon. Priscilla Mac. I need you to inbox me your email right now so that I can send you the link. All right. Where it says write a post. Put it in there. If you need to use the mouse, it's right there. Right click, paste, type. This is right click. No. Click some white space. Paste.
Then what do I do?
Okay. Hold on. Hey, Yahoo.
Do I click on post?
We are live in YouTube right now. That's what you're going to put. Just tell them where we are right now. It makes sense. We are live in YouTube right now. Do you know how to make a post?
No.
Okay, you got to get rid of the HTTPS and stuff like that. There you go. Thank you all for your patience. So, he's doing is making it easy by just putting the live of YouTube straight in there. Okay.
Post.
Hold on, let me review it first. Okay, Saltia, it has been sent to you. It has been sent to you. Okay. We are live on YouTube right now with Saltia Bassett. Use this so you can spell her name right. Author of Balance, and then you're gonna post. So leave it right like that. Well, yes, my son is getting ready to share the link right now. I have sent the invite to Saltia. Look at the book and spell it.
Oh.
Okay, excuse me. And we'll clean that up later.
Post.
Yeah. An invite has been sent to you. An invite has been sent to you, Saltia. Copy. Sal Bassett at Yahoo. Yes. I did spell it right. Okay. Okay, so let me go back to here. Okay, so if you all can see, okay, if you all want to log out of here and you want to go to look at what was just posted onto my wall, it should be a blue and white thumbnail there, and it should say this is the YouTube. You can come into the YouTube and you can start commenting here because it's live. Okay, let's see what the page looks like.
That one's from Instagram.
From where?
The one that was showing right now is just from Instagram.
Okay, so I'm going to keep this up too, but the live is on there. 3 people. As you come in, 3 people. Let us know. Let us know who you are. The invite has been sent. The invite has been sent. Okay, thank you, Terrell. Thank you. Comments. Okay, I'm able to receive comments as you're in here live on the YouTube. I am able to receive comments. So, son. Hi. All right, Renita Gabriel. She is in. She's in. Saltia, we're all in here. Hi. Vlogs with DJ. Vice is not connected. I think Saltia is peeking her head in, guys. Says the. What's that about? DJ, look at this.
Device is not connected. Is she gonna maybe reconnect?
I guess so. Where is the new link? The new link is directly when you go back onto the page. It is there at the bottom. Device is not connected. What does that mean, DJ? Oh, she's coming in. She's coming in. She's in. She's in. Ooh!
Girl,
God, listen, we gotta sing our song. If it had, I got
Oh,
it
that's a
for
little no
the
Priscilla. I have to
Lord.
go higher.
Listen, we're just gonna have family time here. I thank
I
everyone for their
literally,
patience,
I feel like I
but
went to war.
huh?
I feel like I went to war. I'm on my phone now. I left my computer. I broke ties with my computer.
I'm on here. I couldn't have, listen. I'm so glad that this is happening with family. Yeah.
I
Okay,
broke
but
ties
we
with my
made it.
computer.
We can get our lighting, and you know what? This is going to be edited. You need to stay in here because I need your help. My son likes to go away and do whatever he wants to do, but Mama needs him, so I got to get this. I have a couple of things in front of me. Don't worry about this. If you need to make any adjustments, go ahead. This will be edited. Okay. Because people cannot hear you. Can you post the link, please? Uh-oh. See, stuff like that. Make sure that this is plugged up. Did she plug it?
It's plugged in.
Okay. I see. I see. All right. My son is in. Son, put this put this live on the screen up there. Okay. I wanted to move this a little bit so I can get comfortable. How are you doing, Sister Saltia?
Girl, trying to breathe now.
You look beautiful. You look beautiful.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
So do you.
Right.
Oh,
So let
first,
me.
hi.
Yes. We are here. We are in the building. Okay. So, nope. Let's bring that close because it's trying to tell on my back scenery there. All right. And 3, 2, 1. Thank you all for tuning in. This is Still Learning, Still Developing, but we have an extension called Aurora's Book Tribe. And on it today, we have a special guest. Her name is Saltia Bassett, and she is the author of a book titled Balance. And I have it here with me so that you all know exactly what it looks like. So, congratulations, published author. Yay.
Thank you.
How does it feel?
It feels good to have something that you've accomplished, of course. And then when you have a mission of why you wrote the book and it's accomplished, it makes you feel good. So just knowing that I've accomplished something and I've done something that contributes to mankind, that makes me feel good.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So I was reading your book, and there's a couple of interesting pointers in here. But just tell us a little bit about what brought you into, and if you can turn your volume up a bit. Can you hear me very good?
I can hear you loud.
Okay, so we need a little bit more volume, and you can let us know what prompted you to write this book.
Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Okay. So basically, I was just watching people fall apart internally, not outwardly.
Mm.
And it was breaking my heart because everyone in my eyes are brothers and sisters. And my heart was so broken. And just sitting at a conference with one of the children's teachers, and I mentioned something. I just said something off the top of my head, and she said, "Write a book," not knowing. She did not know that my heart was broken already for mankind. And so as soon as she said that, I said, it's time to write a book to help people filter out and start from the inside to build so that the outdoor doesn't break. And that's what encouraged me to just write a book so that people can see their purpose, live purposefully, and just smile more, be happy more, choose to be happy more, choose not to let the outdoor world cripple what's inside. So that was the main reason why I wrote it. And a broken heart for mankind is the push.
Okay. And broken heart. Well, this thing is broken down a bit here. I see that you have, given some shout out to your husband and your children. So God bless them and thank them for allowing us to have your time today, your beautiful family. One of the things, I'm on live now with Facebook as well. So, and on there are other authors. One thing that I noticed about us is that we take notes when we read. Okay, and we also point out other authors and other books that we read within our books. So this
Hmm.
in your book, it's not just a book; it's also a workbook as well, where people
Hmm.
can take notes. Guys, I just want to say it is very important to take notes when you are reading in order for it to stick. Just like how you write things down and make it plain, it's the same thing you want to do as you're reading a book so that you are getting your money's worth. And where can they find this book?
They can definitely find it on Amazon.com. They can also find it on Zulon. I want to say Zulon.com and Zulon Press. That is the company that published it. So the publishing company, you can find it on their website. So I just hope that that book, it's not even, I did not write the book to really profit financially, if I can say that. It was more
Mhm.
so I wanted people to profit internally. It wasn't about me. And so I would love for people to purchase the book, of course. It's a good thing to purchase the book, to make money off it. But the main reason was I needed people to repair. And
Mm.
and as like you said, it's good to take notes. I had a friend that actually suggested that idea. She helped me along the journey, and she said, maybe find a way to help people to take notes. And her idea was just great because, with that said, when you stop between each chapter and reflect, then
Mm.
it sticks better, as opposed to going to the next chapter and the next chapter and the next chapter, and then you're finished and you put that book back on the bookshelf. So,
Right.
but with writing notes and taking notes, you remind yourself where you were at that moment. And then when you return to that moment, or a moment that's similar to that, then you can just open that book back and go back to that note that you wrote and see that you self built yourself by the time
Hmm.
you finish that book, and you can rebuild again. So
Hmm.
I know you asked where the books can be purchased. Like I said, Amazon and Zulon. I hope that everyone purchases the book, but please, if it's not just for to spend your money, please get it just to repair. That is the main reason I wrote this book. A lot of people ask how many have I sold, and unfortunately, I can't give that number because I'm not sure. What my question is, how many people have repaired? That is my
Hmm.
question that
Hmm.
I would like to answer.
Okay, wonderful. Sonia Diallo says, I am here. Sonia, tell us where you're from. Thank you. Thank you for being here. We have DC Cutie 100. She might be from DC. So she's sending you a lot of love. Um,
Please
Daphne
follow.
Jones, your sister's here. She says, I'm here with Jalea. Okay, Renita Gabrielle, she said that was a great question. Okay, so I'm what I think about taking notes is that it causes you to think about what
Mhm.
you just read and how you're about to apply it, rather than, like you just said, just going on and on in the book. Okay,
Mhm.
so let's see. In here, you talked about peer pressure and fitting in. Okay, as soon as I read that, I said, "Ah, she's a Martian." I knew it. I
I,
knew there was something about you.
thanks for
She's a
the
mutant.
confirmation.
Yeah. I love X-Men. So that's where I got the idea of Aurora Monroe's tribe from.
Yes.
And but in here it says, see on page 7, that you were convinced that you were from Mars. You said, I do not think I would have written this book had it not been for one of my children's teachers over the years. She consistently showed appreciation towards my thoughts until recently. She said, you need to write a book. But basically what you said, as a matter of fact, um, let me go back here. You said, drugs and alcohol weren't my challenge as it was for many teenagers. Fitting in, however, was. I was convinced I was from Mars. My dad lost count of the number of times I claimed I was not born on Earth. My thought processes were not the same as that of my peers. As a matter of fact, I was convinced by the devil's lies that I was weird. And that happens to a lot of us when we're
Mhm.
different. Okay. We're out there. We're not like everybody else. And like you said, that was very beautifully put. Your thought process is different. That the devil will get in your head and tell you something's wrong with you. That's why you shouldn't even talk or say nothing. Am I right?
You are
'Cause
absolutely right.
so tell us a little bit more about that.
So a lot of well, I was a shy person, that was, but as you know, as a kid, I was very vocal. I was very vibrant. I was very
Mhm,
silly. I liked to laugh, but only a few people knew that. The people who were very close to me, family, church family. But as soon as I leave that network, I just become quiet, and that was simply because I am someone who like to be honest, and
mhm,
if I have a thought, I would like to share it. If I have an idea, I would like to share. I like to share who I am with the world. So, with that said, if my thought was not, similar to most thoughts, I was singled out. So it caused me to not to be afraid to say things. Sometimes it caused
mhm,
me to think about what I'm saying, and then that becomes a filtered conversation. And so with the book of peer pressure, I try to get people to understand it doesn't just stop at children. It doesn't just stop at teens. It also go in well into adulthood, because adults, we get into groups and we start to talk, and then we recognize our audience, and then we start to filter everything that we say, or we
mhm,
become our audience, because whatever they say affects us, it influences us, and then next you know, we're not who we are at home, or we're not who we are with other people. And that is why I felt that peer pressure was one that we as adults needed to be aware of, that we're just as vulnerable to peer pressure as anyone else, simply because whoever we're around will influence us some way or impact what we become some kind of way by our choices.
mm, mm. Now, personal question
Yes.
is that what about positive peer pressure? What do
Positive peer
you-
pressure, I would say, and those are the things. When you're around people, you need to be able to filter which one will impact you positively and which one will impact you negatively. So there are pressure points that I find are very useful. And those are the ones, like I said, when you have positive, and you would know positive because you will feel good about yourself. You will feel genuine with yourself. You will feel like you do not have to have a filter. You will feel comfortable and safe with who you are. So those are the circles that I always say, when you get into a circle, you look for those things so that you can be impacted and influenced in ways that will benefit and pour into your purpose. But as soon as you start to feel a little uncomfortable, that's when you have to start reflecting, because life is not going to always be comfortable, of course. But when
Mhm,
you
mhm,
are uncomfortable, I would always say, begin your filtering system. That is
mm,
when you start asking yourself, why am I uncomfortable? And that is when you start saying, praying even more, so that you can make decisions of who's in your circle. Not to say that, push these people out of your circle. You just have to be careful with those that you feel are negatively influencing you, so that they do not become, I guess, contradictive to your purpose. And that is the thing. That's all about saving your purpose and making sure that that stays a part of who you are. Not to say get rid of people. It just means make sure you're being positively influenced at all times. If it's negatively, it doesn't mean anything about the person. It just means you need to be wise about your circle.
mhm. Yes, I love that. That was great. Did you all get that? If you are on here, you can come off of the live and you can go on to Priscilla Mac Facebook, and you can find this live that we're on and transfer yourself. We are on YouTube, but we are still looking at you to let you know where we're at. Okay. All right. So we covered that with peer pressure. Let's see. Page 9 was one of my favorites. I did my I when I see certain things, I like to circle them in books that I'm reading. It says, once you make up your mind not to give in to pressure of peers who aren't positive influences, you offer the world a unique you, the only you. I love that.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. And that is what the book made about, because a lot of people have told me, oh, I see the good in people. And I'm like, no, we all have the capability of seeing the good in people. We just
Mhm.
have to, and the thing is that we just have to be able to not just sometimes words come out, but that's not really who they are. Words are sometimes an expression of whatever they're going through at the moment.
Mm,
And that is why I tell people, so it's not that, oh, I just see the good in people. We all can, if you just realize sometimes those words that are coming out are coming from somewhere else. And that's what I said. And everybody has a unique purpose. And that is what I'm hoping everyone will learn to protect and embrace.
mm,
And that is something that I journeyed through. I did not always protect it, and but I kept it. And I say
mm,
I kept it because even though I felt weird, even though I felt like I was from Mars, I still did not deny myself.
mm.
Did I limit myself to being exposed to the world? Yes, because I wasn't sure if they accepted it, but I wasn't willing to give it up. And that is why I say we all have a unique purpose, but what happens, influences get in and it compromises it, and we don't get to see everyone's uniqueness because they have become a representation of what the world wants them to be.
I like that. We're gonna excuse me, y'all. Hein Zumafo says he's with his son watching from Lansing, Michigan. You also have some people from Burkina Faso, West Africa.
Oh,
Um, yeah, you got let's see, Renita, amen. DC Cutie says so true. Renita says, well said. And Sonia says, oh, yes, sis. So they're all on board. Everybody
my
gets
love to everyone.
it. Yeah. Okay. And then it says, do not take peer pressure lightly. Do not believe your children are so perfect and surrounded by so much positivity that lies cannot creep into even the tiniest crevices in their minds. I mean, we do all we can, but you're absolutely right. They have to go outside.
Yep.
Can you turn that off? See that one right there. They like to watch YouTube. Okay?
Yes.
With all these characterized children, and sometimes you need to sit down with them and kind of listen to see what they're listening to and what's going on, because it's very
Yes.
eye catching. They're in the zone. They must and have to see it. I mean, almost to the point where if you take it away, their eyes will start watering. So,
Yes, yes, I understand. It's the children. I mean, especially in this modern technology world, where I mean, you see what happened with even the pandemic. Everyone went to Zoom meetings. Everyone went straight to online. So that meant kids' eyes are going to be wider. Their ears are going to be wider. And so, with that said, when it comes to children, a lot of people ask, why do I always pick them up from school? And I say because I want to get everything that happened in school, not the filtered version. Filtered version is the version you get after they've told someone else.
mm,
And so I pick them up. So the moment they get out the door, I get everything. And so when they're talking to me, I get the emotional part because at the moment they're emotional. Then when they're done with that, I ask them again. So then I can get the non-emotional part, and we filter through where our emotional challenges are based upon the differences between the first story and the second story. And
mm,
I do that simply so that they can understand how emotions do dictate sometimes our actions, how we think of others, how we respond to others. And that is why I prefer to pick them up from school so I can get two stories: emotional, non-emotional. Then we break it down to where our challenges are. So yes, things creep in. They go to school. Even with homeschool, they go outside. Like you said, they go outside. There, here's something we can only do but so much, but the devil is so clever that he can find little crevices through our emotions. The moment we're vulnerable is where it creeps in, and vulnerability can come in different type of forms. And that is why I say you can do everything. And I just stress the parents to continue talking and asking. Always ask my children, how was your day? What do you feel? What did you do good today? Who affected you today? Who impacted you today? Who influenced you today? So we can start learning how to filter our circles and surround ourselves with people who build us and protect our purpose indirectly or directly.
that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Protect your circles. And then it says, but greatness prevails only with continued reinforcements. Continue to discuss peer pressure with your children because every day is another opportunity for the devil to get into their heads and
Mm-hmm.
yours.
Mm-hmm.
So true. Let me see. What else do I have here? Okay, a couple of steps that made me
Okay.
reevaluate. Even today, because it's the weekend, and so this has turned my weekend. After this, I have editing to do, and then get this out. But I still want to spend some time with my children. So it says, "Do you really have to make that phone call when your child is asking to speak with you, parents? Do you? Must you? Okay." Do you have to finish cooking that last dish when your child expresses the need for your attention? Your time breathes life into your children. You were once a child. Reflect and remember how you felt when your parent or guardian put down their paper or remote or shut down their work demands to sit with you. Do you remember how their choice to give of their time and attention without judgment took you from one extreme emotion to a new sense of hope? And so I like how what you said about getting the information from them straight from school to catch that emotional part and then begin to guide it. This is parental guidance, not just letting them come up with their own immature solutions. Okay, because
Hmm.
that's what they will do if they're not getting any, attention, or the parent is not paying them any attention during time. They're just gonna come up with their own. Okay,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
and, and we don't know what that's going to be. So
Hmm.
um, I like that part. Anybody have any questions? Sonia Diallo says, I love that. Yes. Yes. Anybody have any questions about that with the peer pressure?
And even just to say, and even now, there are some situations where not everyone will be able to pick their child up right from school and get that
Mhm,
emotional part. And I do believe that those particular parents who are unable are already equipped, and their kids are already equipped to handle whatever needs to be handled, because I strongly believe in we are all equipped, already equipped with what we need. So
mhm,
for the parents that cannot pick their child up right after school, get that emotional part, I believe that it is not something they're going to miss, because I truly believe the parent is already equipped, the child is already equipped. They may be that child that, can keep their emotions together and filter that on their own. Who knows? But that's not to say every parent that picked their kid up and get the emotional story will benefit more than the other parent. I would not say that. It's just my choice for my kids and their purpose. And that is another thing that I wanted people to realize in the book, that even our children have different purposes, which is going to convict our heart so that we can pour into those purposes. But like I said, I only said that simply because I am that person. People are like, oh, why don't you just put them on the bus? I said, well,
mhm,
because I feel convicted to pick them up from the school. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to benefit more than another person. It's just right now, this is my purpose to feed into their purpose. And so for all the parents that are unable to get them and get that emotional part, I don't ever want them to feel discouraged that they aren't getting that emotional part. No,
mhm,
they may still get it. They may still
mhm.
get it at home, and they get
Yeah.
two stories at home. So as long as that every parent know that it's no right or wrong way to get the emotional part.
Thank you. And it's more like do it when you can, because
Yes. Yes.
and as soon as you can. Okay,
Yes.
make them
Yes.
the bulk of it is to make them a priority and get it done as quickly
Absolutely.
as you can, due to your
Absolutely.
circumstances. If you work at night, I have worked overnight, so I
Yes.
surely wasn't able to pick my kids up from school or
Yes.
anything like that, but I still could have, as soon as possible,
Yes.
approach. Another
Yes.
thing, I think this is really good for parents who are, we're daily, everyday people. Parents who are celebrities, parents who are in leadership roles, and entrepreneurs. And
Mm-hmm.
one thing that Satya and I have in common is that we are minister kids. We are saved. So there's a whole nother level of being of communicating with your child when you are a parent that is in a leadership position, or you're an entrepreneur, or a parent that has to work and do overtime, because
Mm-hmm.
those kind of parents have a separate, they have an obligation, a purpose obligation outside of the household. So how does one in those in those particular, what advice would you have for someone in that kind of that lives that lifestyle?
That lives their lifestyle as a PK, or lives their lifestyle just in leadership.
It's just in leadership.
Okay. My advice to them, like I said, will always be to just make sure they take time to, one, reflect on themselves, and then reflect on those that's around them, for the most at home. And that is because leadership, yes, you have to be a leader, people looking up to you, looking up for your examples, but at the same time, you have, the way you be your best you as a leader is to stop, take a minute, reset, reflect, get to know the people who are looking up to you personally, get to know them. And I think that's the best thing to do. And that's simply because I think what happens as a leader, we get so busy trying to take care of everyone else and being a leader, that we forget to be ourselves and a person. And so as long as they're just stopping for a minute and just existing as a person, existing in their true selves, their unique selves, then they can be in that leadership purpose. Otherwise, they're going to eventually become overwhelmed by the name leader. Leader takes the word leader just takes a whole different dynamic, gives you a whole different responsibility. And when you hold that to yourself and forget that you were yourself first, your unique self first, then you lose a part of who you are, and a part of, and you take the risk of losing your purpose at the same time, because you become overwhelmed, emotionally drained, and then you're sitting there almost fighting for your mental state as opposed to living in leadership. So just as long as the leaders just take their time to just exist in their true self, say, who am I? Who is that? Who am I, and who was I before this leadership took, right? And you just be a part of that, live in that for the moment, and then just rebuild yourself. And then that way you can combine you and your leadership role together.
Okay, wonderful. So when I offer those of you who are listening out there, when I say leadership, if you work or if you do most of anything that you're not a stay-at-home parent where you can zoom in and hone in on your children like that, you have to lead yourself in different directions, or even a stay-at-home parent, because you have other things that you have to do too that requires just household maintenance. So as a leader, of leading yourself and having your time occupied by things other than your children, you need to be able to do what? Balance. All right. So we're trying
It's all
to
about that reset button. That's
it's
the
all
thing.
about that reset button.
Because a lot of people, they hit pause.
Yes.
That's what they do. They hit pause, but pause only stop you in that moment, and you pick up right back at that moment. But you hit reset, that starts you over, and you start over intentionally and willing and driven and declaring that you're not going to repeat what just happened.
Amen. Amen. That's the important part. We're not going to reset, but not repeat. Okay.
Yes. That is definitely the key.
Some things that you talked about in here were of health. Where am I? On page 10. And some of your children ask. The next time your children ask for your time, especially if it's regarding pressures, do not consider what you will have to put off. Consider the devil's agenda to get into their minds. I mean, that's an entirely different perspective from go sit down somewhere, I'm doing something, to, oh no, I need to make sure that I am at the gate here because I don't want anything else to get in. So I really appreciate that perspective right there. And then being healthy, when you talked about different influences that we have, could be people that are influencing positively or negatively, or a lifestyle, the way that we're eating, exercise, and doing certain things. And so being in a good, healthy physical body allows you that energy that you can give to your children. Because I know how it is to come home and I've been dreaming about the bed all the way home. I've been dreaming about the bed. I want to get in that bed because I'm so tired. And that is because, poor sleeping, and then when you halfway have a breakfast, and then at lunch you eat too much and everything. At 2 o'clock, the words on the computer are bouncing around. You don't even know what you're seeing. It's like
Yep.
at 2:30, you're just praying in the
Yep.
mind just to make it through. Like, oh, hope I don't get let
Yep.
go today because I don't know.
Yep.
And then
Yep.
when you get home, your kids are running up to you, mommy, daddy. Oh, hi everyone. And you go and get in the bed. Some of you do it with your clothes on. I'm not judging. Didn't even wash my makeup off yet, and so instead of repeating that cycle, I just wanted to put it out there because I'm in that right now too. Just I notice a pattern with myself that when I eat a certain way, I have extra energy to give to my children as opposed to eating large amounts and then becoming. Renita says, "Wow, good stuff." Daphne says, "Great point." I'm going to read her comment. Says, "Great point. We often forfeit and consider optional the things that are most conductive to health and enduring the long haul."
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Amen.
That
Amen.
was actually the one that I remember when I get very consumed and busy, I just don't eat. And then my sister was the one that said, "Well, when you don't eat, that's not beneficial for you. Not just because you're going to go hungry, but it's not a healthy choice."
No, it's not.
And so she was the one that really encouraged me that even if it's not sitting me, eat something, eat some fruit, eat something in between as opposed to just starving yourself. And so that was the thing. And then accountability. When you have little ones, as a leader, when you have, and not just as a leader by title, but just a leader in your home, as a mom, as a dad, as anyone who's looking up to you, they look up to you to make choices that they can learn from. And so when it comes to all of, like I said, the reset part, sometimes even my husband said, "Why do you sleep?" Like, I just go to sleep. I will stop in the middle of something and just go to sleep. And the kids like, "Mommy, why are you always tired?" I said, "No, mommy isn't always tired. Mommy just choose to go to sleep when I cannot be in my purpose." And so, and that is something we have to constantly check in. If we're feeling overwhelmed, then our purpose is about to be compromised. And that is something that we have to learn to protect because, and I will say that over and over again. It's not even about mommy sleepy, my eyes are heavy, I need to close them right now. It's about I'm protecting my purpose. And if I am sleepy, I may burn food. And then you don't have a meal that's to your pleasing. If I am sleepy, I write a paper that I may forget something and then everything go haywire. So to make sure that I'm always within my purpose, rest, reset, take a moment. I even sometimes sit there and laugh at the most silliest thing because I can. And sometimes, like I said, you just want to, sometimes I literally step out of all of my titles and just become me. I just sit down and say, "Hey, Sal," and I'll just make a silly joke that no one being that get, but I'm going to be me. And that's simply because I don't ever want to lose that part of me because I am me before anything else.
I love that. I love that. So, your chapter 3 is on dating, which is very interesting. I took some notes in there too. You can see what kind of child I was in school. Listen, on days, and my daughter is the same. When the teacher used to give us homework and I would have my homework and the teacher would forget about it, I was the one that reminded the teacher so the other kids would get mad. At the end of the class, I'm like, "Wait a minute, we had homework and I have my notes." The kids are like, "Priscilla, shut up. She didn't even say." So let's see who we have here. Oh, Sonia Diallo said, "Come on, preach, reset." That's right. Okay.
That's Sonia.
Yes. Renita Gabriel, she says, "Amen. Amen." All right. So, page 19 I have here. Do not become discouraged if you're not currently in a relationship. Your relationship with God will comfort your heart in ways beyond your understanding and expectations because He is always looking to connect with you. Your choice to walk in joy will define your inner strength. Surround yourself with loving warriors who will remind you of your worth because you are worth the best. Once you have reset, there's that word, it's going to stick with us. Once you have reset and made peace with your current status, you'll notice your emotions are no longer raging like wildfire. You found your balance and are now happily moving forward. That's
I
beautiful.
and I must say it is very important to surround yourself with good people. I would say some of these comments that you're seeing, some I met when I moved to Michigan, and some I knew before marriage. And I will say, if it weren't for those group of girls, they consist of Renita, one of the comments, my sister Tiffany may have been one of it. There's a couple other friends on there before marriage that really, when they remind you of worth, because you don't look for, I never wanted co-signers. I never wanted someone to say, well, you didn't need them anyway, because I still see good in the person. And I didn't want someone to, I wanted someone to tell me who I am, not who they were to me. And
Mm-hmm.
so, because, like I said, there's good in everyone. An ex doesn't, an ex to me doesn't mean bad. An ex to me just mean a learning experience.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who built you, created you because of your choices that you made. So, but these girls never did any of that. They always said, Sal, this is who you are. And they gave me scriptures. They gave me things. And you suddenly get this sense of hope because you realize this had nothing to do with me on a negative side. It had everything to do with a building me part. And so that is why I say, yes, surround yourself, because to be single is not something as bad. It doesn't have feelings with it. Yes, feelings of voids, feelings of longing, feeling of those things. Yes, singleness has its challenges, but with singleness, I always want people to know that does not mean you stop. You stop living, you stop hoping, or anything like that. It just means this is your personal time that you use to build yourself so that you can live into your purpose, be your best you, so that when your other half come, when that relationship does come, you feel like you are your best you. You may feel like you're your best you now, but I do not believe things happen because of bad luck. I don't believe that. There's so many beautiful people out there that I know that are still single, but I look at them, I'm like, nope, he's just still building you. You're just still getting yourself built,
Mm-hmm.
because beautiful people out there, very beautiful people that are still single, but I never want them to feel like that they're unwanted. That's the thing I never want people to feel like, because you can be married and still feel unwanted. There's some marriages out there that I know they're like, am I wanted? And those are the ones that I'm like, a single person needs to hear that, because unwanted has another level. It has nothing to do sometimes with singleness. It has everything to do with inward challenges. So yes. So I never want a single person to feel undesired, because you can probably meet 5 married people that's probably having those same challenges with someone right in front of them. So I just pray for all couples and single people.
Okay, wonderful. I like that. I like that take. And I was also thinking about with dating, okay, and being single. And we're talking about balance and influences. I want to
Mm-hmm.
say to single people, please be careful about who you're surrounding yourself with, and are you being pressured by social media? And then we also spoke about leadership. Some of you all are, some people are just, thrust into leadership through just having a large audience that follows you. But I see some people that are wonderful, educated, they're successful, but you can hear the loneliness come out of them through their social media posts, constantly being about relationships, relationship goals, and relationship this and relationship that. While you're not in a relationship, please take the time to, like she says in here, to focus on your relationship with God. It's really not even attractive to constantly do that. I've never seen anybody constantly do that and then all of a sudden they're married, because that's not what that's going to turn into. Nobody's going to look at that and say, oh, okay, well, this person is single, let me buy them a ring so that we could be married and run into the sunset. Everyone's just going to be looking at this lonely situation. Also, people pick up onto that, and it causes them to have some type of emotional reflection on themselves. Maybe you weren't even bothered by being single today
Mm-hmm.
until you got on Facebook, and then you realize. So as leaders who have those platforms, you know, be responsible about what you're putting out there. And if you are feeling that way, and you know, you might need to evaluate your relationship with God, so that you don't have this emotion of loneliness to where you're recruiting other people into an
Mm-hmm.
unhappy space with you
Mm-hmm.
that may have been okay that day had they not seen your post. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
I
And,
agree.
and other people, protect yourself. If you see that and it's a person that is repeatedly doing it, you know, if as long and you know, you can pray for them if you're a prayer warrior. But if you find yourself and your thoughts starting to get altered by their emotional roller coaster, because people go through different things now,
Mhm.
all kinds of stuff will come out of them. It'll be men ain't nothing, then relationship goals, and then they'll just take you on a roller coaster. If you find yourself going up and down and you having flashback on account of this person on social media, you know, let them go to the wind. Let them go to the wind.
And I agree. And I think the best way of handling that is to everyone has good. The reason
Mhm,
you chose to be with that person that became your ex is because you saw good in them. That good
mhm,
is still there. It's that good is still there. And you would, I mean, it's the scripture of do unto others if you have them do unto you. Would you want that ex to say certain things about you as well? And so that
mhm,
is why I tell people scripture was there for a reason.
mhm,
And that is why even with my Facebook, it's like, you know, when I go on, I want to see people joys. I want to see, but the moment, like you said, the moment you see someone have a joy and your day may not be as joyful and it's starting to compromise, you know, your emotional state, that's when you may want to log off for a little bit. Because to me, in my opinion, it isn't fair for the person that you take it out on, because
mhm,
at that moment they didn't do anything to you. You just had an emotional challenge by looking at somebody else's Facebook. And
mhm,
so, and that is why I tell people it is very important to really know where your emotions are, because they can start to travel and navigate in areas that really shouldn't be on the other person. It can have every, so I am constantly checking in on myself. When I have an issue with someone, I check and see, wait a minute, is it the issue with the person or a challenge I'm having internally? And
there you go.
yes, because sometimes it's just an eternal thing. And I think that's what happens in marriages, is that our expectations and our desires, our hope, our preferences get in the way of that loving unconditionally, or getting in the way of the forgiving part,
Mhm,
or get in the way of do unto others as you have done unto yourself. So it just gets in a way. So that's why I tell people marriages is not going to be a walk in the park, but at the same time, it can definitely be a bliss when you choose to work on your inside, not their inside, your inside. And that's
mhm,
something that I am constantly having to do as well, making sure that I am not throwing my internal challenges on my spouse, on my internal challenges on my kids. And that is most important. Once we can figure out is a struggle of our own, we'll realize it's not that person, it's us. So for the
mhm.
most, sometimes it
Yeah,
can be the other person, sometimes it can be the other person. But before you blame the other person, make sure you check yourself and make sure it's just not an internal struggle or personal preference or personal expectation before you put it. Because sometimes that person may be just there to make you grow.
right, right. And let me tell you, like she said, certain things will that other people do or put out there,
Mhm.
whenever it triggers you, you know,
Mhm.
instead of being upset with that person, I guess you have to use your spiritual sense
Yeah.
and say, hold on now, something's not right. So what is it? And pray about that. What is
Mhm.
it that you know that is coming up over you like
Mhm.
that? Maybe an issue that has not been dealt with. Okay. So
Mhm.
it's not for you to feel guilty and feel ashamed, like, oh my goodness, something's wrong with me. Like you said, I'm weird, or you know, my gosh, I'm still sitting 10, 12 years later in the gospel. What's going on here? I'm not right yet. No, it's just for you to say, you know, okay, I see this. Let me work on that. Okay.
Mhm.
And so, and then we also, like she said, instead of looking at other people, we don't want to blame. I mean, blaming people really gives them a lot of power. It gives them a
Mhm.
lot of power because it means that you can't move until they say so. I mean, I've been blamed too, even in my relationship. And I used to try to defend myself until I figured out that if this person thinks that I'm that powerful, I'm not going to stop them anymore and keep because they feel like they feel like so much that they can't do until I say or make them feel, until I make them feel happy or I can make them angry. When you blame other people, you put them in a very powerful position to make you feel a certain way. Don't you do that. Once you catch on to that, don't you do that.
And that's where the forgiving part comes in too.
Yes.
Forgiving, I tell people I don't forgive because I have to. I forgive because it frees me. It frees me and empowers me, because once you forgive someone, genuinely forgive someone, you have released the bondage of grudges, and you have released them from the power over your mind and your heart. And it's not about who had the upper hand. If you think of forgiving that way, it's not a true forgiving. It's just you forgive because, number one, it helps you, and number two, if you're really mad at them, forgive them, because then they no longer have power. So it's like I tell people, if you're mad at them, forgive them. Forgiving is just going to work both ways. If you're mad, forgive them, because then you just left them, you just released the power that they had over you. If you want to be freed, then you forgive. You forgive them, then you forgive yourself, because I'm sure 9 out of 10 times you had some bad thoughts.
Yeah. Oh, God, forgive me.
Forgive yourself. Because once you forgive them, you freed yourself from them. But then you got to free yourself from yourself. And because you're going to have those thoughts, you're going to start thinking about you had, and then you're going to feel bad. And then if something were to happen, you're going to feel like you were responsible for it because of your thoughts. So those are the things I would say. Forgive them. It's easier to forgive the person, but forgiving yourself sometimes is the biggest, because you just think you're not worth being forgiven. So I always tell somebody, if you can forgive them and you think they're worth, what makes you less worth than forgiving yourself?
I like that. Very powerful. So you guys, if you all have any questions, now is the time to ask them before we break out into song and break out of the interview. Any questions? Any questions? Questions for the author? Questions for the author? I'm looking on here. See, my eyes are rolling around because I have to
look at much sleep.
Comments are and stuff like that. Amen, Sal. Renita Gabriel.
Thanks, Renita.
Here we go. Because yesterday I asked her, you all, what was her favorite song? And there's a little song that we used to play at our little church on Street. Bring it back. Let me see if I can get this thing going here. And you all can join in and clap. Can you hear it good?
I can hear it.
Tell my story how she prayed me through.
Prayed me through.
When I got saved,
I need a tambourine in here.
From drugs and alcohol. My grandmother.
You said you need a tambourine. Girl, I got a tambourine sitting right over beside me.
If it had
not been for the Lord
on my side,
tell me where would I be? Where would I be if it had not been for the Lord on my side? Tell me, where would I be? Where would I be? And here's the high part.
So I'll play more of that song at the ending of this interview for you all, but it was so good to hear your voice and see you. I'm very happy about this book. And I don't know if you all feel it, but you know what? This is so on time for me. I think this is timely for all of us, especially during this pandemic like this, where you have to be a little closer to your loved ones at this point. So we want to love people the best way we can, with our best. We want to do our best. Balance.
Amen.
You can get this book on Amazon. It's a great read. It is great read. It's very comprehensible. So make sure you all go out and get that by Saltia Bassett. Renita says, sing, Sal. Hey, and you guys, the playback of this will be out tomorrow. The playback of this entire interview will be out tomorrow with adjacent to our song at the end.
Oh, goodness.
You might even kick it off with that so that you all can share about this book. And we want you all to, we want your audience to see what you're a part of and how you're growing, what you're listening to. And, you know, this is developing you all as well. So we love you so much. Thank you for participating. Kim F said, if it had not been for the Lord on my side.
Oh, she can sing that song.
Really?
Yeah. Kim will sing and I'll play the piano. And our husband plays the drum. We have a whole band for you. Then my husband on the bass.
Listen, thank you so much. Oh, my God, we haven't seen each other in 20 years.
No, it's
you
been
look
over
the
20
same.
years. Yeah,
you look the same.
But that's good.
That is good. You're beautiful. You're like you have not aged at all.
Water, smiling, and forgiving people. Water, smiling, forgive people, and love unconditionally.
Water, smiling, forgiveness, and unconditional love. I'm taking notes. Are you?
I'm telling you, it does everything. Because if you smile, your wrinkles go up, and if you love unconditionally, you have no stress. If you forgive, you have no bondage. You drink water, you filter out all those other things that can damage your skin.
Ooh. I love that. I love that.
That'll cost you 5 cents.
See? Oh. If I had a penny for every time. Let me see here. All right. So she said, let me write that down. Okay. Write that down. Water. I wrote it down.
Water, forgiveness, unconditional love, and smiling.
Unconditional love. Yeah. Okay. You guys, you all have the beauty recipe.
That's it. And I tell you, you do all those things, and of course, wash your face. And you wash your face. That was a struggle for me for a while. Wash my face. My sister knows that. That was my lazy part. But washing your face, I'm telling you, do those things, you can minimize all those other things that you're doing just to keep that skin beautiful. You just keep drinking your water. You forgive so you can be free of your bondage. You love unconditional so you don't have stress. And you smile so your wrinkles go up.
Amen. Amen. Oh, I love that. Okay. So the ladies are loving it because we love our beauty secrets. She said Jamila Lowry, she has taken notes. Look at her. Welcome, sister. Beautiful. She said water, smile, and forgiveness equals anti-aging. You got it.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes, Jamila. On it.
Okay. People haven't. Listen, this has been effective. That's what I like. And I know that's what you're about because you said, we're not even worried about the sales. We want this to be effective. Okay. We are all still learning and still developing. Thank you so much for being on this talk show.
You're very welcome.
You look very beautiful. God bless you. Thank you.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.